Well, we didn't know it was going to be this way, but this is really kind of becoming a little mini-series on what's happening from the cataclysmic effects that we keep talking about from COVID-19, the ripple effect, all the things that are changing, what you need to know. There's all this data out there. This is happening, that's happening. There's headlines in the newspaper every single day. What we're doing is curating, bringing all of that together, breaking it down in what you need to know and what you need to do. I thank you for tuning into this. Thank you for sharing. This is exactly what this is for, that you're sharing it with others. I've got a lot to talk about today. First, a recent article, S&P 500 has its fastest rebound since 1957. It rebounded 40% in a 50-day period. Wow, what a great recovery. Well, I would really call that a bounce because we just haven't seen the effects of COVID-19, the ripple effect. And even more importantly, what you need to be aware of is we have become likely to be desensitized to the stock market's massive movements. It was just down about 5.9% a few days ago. Didn't even make the newspaper. No one even saw the headline. Down 5.9% in one day. That doesn't even make any sense to not have that reported. And the reason is the last two times that the market has gone down more than 20% before this recent event, which has been over the last almost 3 years now, it literally bounces. So we'd like to call it a recovery, but when it just kind of dips down and goes right back up, I'd rather call it a bounce. The thing to be aware of is that we have all these people that are not working. We have all these companies that are still shut down. We have all these stadiums and entertainment venues that are closed. How's that sustainable? How can the stock market at the time of this recording be at the levels that it was at the end of the year before coronavirus started? I'm telling you, mark my words, there's cataclysmic effects. Well, here's an article. It says that retail spending is up 19%. 19% from what? What does that mean? That's why it's important. I always say figures don't lie, liars figure. How much was it down? Was it down 40%, 60%, 70%? Was it down 5%? Was it not down at all? Up 19% by itself doesn't tell you anything. And that's why we do this, is to put things in perspective. Data, information, headline, headline, headline. What does that mean for me? Because so much is happening, and then another thing happens with what's happening with law enforcement, police brutality. It seems like we've almost gone on to the next topic, and I played this little thing. I'm gonna play this little thing for you. A friend shared this with me, this idea, but listen to this. Is COVID really a big deal? It's just like Cotton Eye Joe. Just came and then it went. What's the big deal? Well, $6 trillion of debt so far is the big deal, which is, as I said in a previous video, is $240,000 of burden per household for the top 20%, which if you're watching this video, you're probably part of the top 20% of debt per household. I got $4,400 in the mail because I've got 4 kids, and $240,000 of debt so far. Next article, there's more money on the sidelines in money markets, the most since 1992. Another massive statistical headline. And the question is why? Why? Because the money is asking, where should I be right now? Where should I go? Because there's so much uncertainty. Uncertainty with when the kids are going to go back to school. Uncertainty with When things are fully open again, how many small businesses are just going to have to stay closed? Are they out of business? How many restaurants are going to have to stay closed? Going to be out of business? Bed and breakfast, all these different businesses, there has to be an effect which does not warrant the stock market being all the way where it was at the close of last year. So buyer beware. At the very minimum, buyer beware. There's so many things that are happening, and right now, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, our concern about what's happening economically and even health-wise has been completely wiped into the headlines today are, what tragic thing happened in this city? What response that's good or bad or whatever's happened in this city? It's almost like we're on to the next thing. Cotton Eye Joe seems to have gone and left, but here we are having to make decisions with our finances. Another article, and all these articles are at the bottom, 25 to 35% of those between the ages of 60 and 70 have all of their money out of the stock market. All of it. So a question for you that I would be asking, how does it make sense that the stock market could be up to basically near its all-time high levels and 30% of the money is not even in the market? That doesn't make any sense, right? What's pushing the market up? The expectation that everything is fine, the hope that everything is fine, the perception that everything is fine. Because if you're like many, I just had a gentleman call me last week that said, I missed out on the stock market recovery. I missed out on all these gains that the stock market had. And really what he missed out on is the bounce that has been happening the last 3 times. And people are wondering, when do I get back in? Should my money be in the stock market? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to break it down of how your money should be invested. And if you have pulled out and you feel like you've missed out, which you have, how you get that money back into the market without just putting it in right at the wrong time and then the stock market goes down significantly. It's always interesting to me that every day after 4 o'clock, someone will come on the news and say, the stock market went up because this happened in this country, or the stock market went down because this happened over here. No one ever comes on the news in the morning and says, pretty sure the stock market's going to be down 5.9% today because this happened over here. Ever. They're always reporting old news, something that's already happened. They put a label on the old news and say, well, it happened because of this. And I would say, what could cause the stock market to go down 5.9% in one day and then go back up over 6% over the next 2 or 3 days? Well, the only thing I can think of is uncertainty. And that's where we are today. Uncertainty. No one knows. Where did Cotton Eye Joe come from and where did he go? But this is what you need to know. So if you're concerned, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. If you're trying to get into the stock market, you want to write this down. This is how I recommend coming into the stock market. I had a gentleman approach me. He said, I pulled out $500,000 out of the stock market. I don't need it for 10 years and I want to get that money back into the stock market. How do I get it back into the stock market? Real simple. Put it in 10% at a time. You want a dollar cost average into the stock market. So the way that works, put in 10% right now, wait about 3 weeks, then put in another 10%, wait about 3 weeks, and maybe it's gone up dramatically and you think, oh my gosh, I want to wait because maybe it's just so erratic right now, I'm going to wait a little bit, or maybe it goes down significantly. The good part, if you've only got 10 or 20% of the total amount that you're getting ready to put in into the market, and it goes down significantly, then you can put more money in and dollar cost average. Your average cost that you're in is going to be lower because the stock market's gone down. That's how you're able to get into the stock market, even in these really perilous times of, is the stock market going to go up? Is it going to go down? What's going to happen? I don't want to miss out. I'd like to be in the market, but I want to get into it gradually. And that's how. Dollar cost average, 10% at a time. Now, for those that are near retirement, and when I say near retirement, within 10 years of retirement, it is in your best interest to be setting aside money to be able to supplement your retirement income. You should be able to have a pretty good idea of what you're going to have in retirement to be able to do all the things that you want to do. And we've broken it down, and we're going to create a PDF here so you can kind of go through the process. We've broken it down in what to know and how to categorize each type of money. And you're going to want to write this down. There's 4 total categories. The first is needs. And your needs, these are expenses that you're going to have in retirement, are your bare minimum needs. Transportation, a vehicle, maybe just one vehicle in your household, doesn't need to be a brand new vehicle, just something to be able to get around. Food is not going out to eat. It is basic eating food, college food type of food, ramen noodles, very, very inexpensive. The bare minimum, utilities, not doing anything extra. That's your needs. And your needs would be, you might be thinking, well, if all I can do is my needs in retirement, I don't want to retire. That's right. Bare minimum needs. The next is your wants. These are the things where, well, we'd like to go out to eat maybe once or twice a week. We want to be able to go on a vacation maybe once or twice a year. I want to be able to have a decent car, a nice car that I like, that I'm happy to be around. I want to be able to go golfing from time to time or go to the beauty parlor. Those are wants. Your needs and your wants should be invested in a way that is going to be predictable. That's not dependent upon the stock market needing to rebound, needing to get back, needing to grow X amount of percent per year. Your needs and your wants, the income to supplement your needs and your wants must be in a predictable manner. I did an article, blog video at the beginning of April when the stock market was just starting to bounce. And really the summary of the article was, if you're concerned about your investments going down, or if you need your investments to go up to be able to meet your retirement planning needs, your money's in the wrong spot. It must be in a spot where it is predictable, where you can get predictable results. So that's needs and wants. The next category is novelties, being able to do extra things, maybe renovating your kitchen or bathroom, or buying a two-seater convertible car. I had a client just come in this week, and she wants to buy a two-seater convertible. She doesn't need it. She wants it, but even if she didn't get it, it would be, well, you know. So we kind of went through it, her stuff and broke it down, and yep, it's novelties. Yep, we have extra money here for this. Yep, we can do that. She wanted to buy a used car. Her budget was between $20,000 to $25,000, and there's plenty of money there for her to do what she wants, or do what she, buy the novelty that she desires. So that's novelties, extra stuff. Maybe taking the family on a all-family vacation with grandkids and everyone, something that you're probably not going to do every single year. And then the fourth category is discretionary. You've got your needs, where it's going to be predictable. You know that you can depend on it. You've got your novelties, and this may say, well, you know, I've done well. We're up 26% in our investments here for the year. We're going to pull off some of that gains, and we're going to do this thing that we want to do and make sure our money is invested properly, but continue on. And then discretionary is going to be invested based on how you see fit, based on what your typical way of disposition is towards investing and fluctuations that you have in the stock market. Okay? If you want to get in the stock market right now, I recommend 10% at a time. That way you control some of the fluctuation that's obviously completely out of control with the stock market, and you're able to kind of ease your way in. If you're wondering whether your money should be back in, if like some of these people, there's another article of how do I know when to get back in? How do I know where to put my money? That article's down below as well. We can show you where to put your money, because it needs to be, you need to break it down in what type of money it is. Needs, wants, novelties or discretionary, and then you can look at the options that you have with the categories after you figured that out and determine that. I want to tell you, I appreciate you watching these videos. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you sharing this. This is what it's for. There's so many different things that you can read, so many different things that you can get information on, so many different things that are going to kind of influence you. The reason we're doing this is to curate the facts, curate the things, and talk about how that applies to you and what you need to know, what you need to do, and what takes us hours and hours and hours we put together in minutes so that you're able to have the right information, dependable information, and for you to know what to do about it. Sometimes doing is nothing. It's just, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Okay, we'll see how that works out. And then other times it's, I got to get my house in order. Honey, let's talk about this, needs, wants, and novelties. Let's break it down. Or, yep, let's try to get back in the market 10% at a time. Share this with others. You're probably thinking someone in your mind right now, hey, they need to hear this. I should send them the blog that came out, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I need to send it to them. Send it to them. That's why we're doing this. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for others so that you can have clarity, so that you can have confidence, so that you can, most importantly, avoid regret in retirement. I want to thank you for the privilege of being able to talk to you. My name is George Wells. Until we meet again.